We're looking at S&P 500 mini futures. Time frame is 2000 tick chart. And overnight session created uptrend working higher, followed by a break, close outside, and move to a new extreme. I can see that this was the first leg of this bullish uptrend, followed by a little correction and the second bullish leg working higher. We almost have perfect measured move, two-legged pullback up. For that reason, when I see a clear break outside and clear move to a new extreme, I consider this uptrend over, and right now I'm playing the correction phase. Because of the bias was still bullish during the overnight session, I'm not particularly looking to short just yet. In fact, price is in a trading range structure. This is indicating to me by flat EMA, price is swinging up and down, up and down, up and down like this. I'm drawing these shortened trend lines followed by a break new low, another downtrend followed by a break new low. Notice we have two-legged pullbacks all over this place. First leg pullback, second leg. The market likes to move in pairs of two, so we have two-legged pullbacks on the chart. And since we have a two-legged pullback down and we are below the trading range structure, I expect for price to pull back above the EMA, and right now I'm anticipating to get a failed second entry short. Alright, market open and the support didn't really hold too much and price was creating series of lower highs. I was sitting here patiently because it's getting too stacked, it's getting too squeezed. This is reminding me the structure we had on Tuesday, where we had a range structure but we kept making lower highs while the lows kept being static. But eventually we ended up with the downtrend. So once price turned down here, I drew this downtrend, but I didn't really fully trust it. I couldn't take the second entry short just yet. It looked too sideways for me to go short directly into these lows. So right now I'm playing this downtrend. Right now I'm thinking about typical high probability setup in the bearish structure. Second entry short at the EMA. We'll see if we can get it. All right, traders, I'm preparing my limit order. If I get some nice short entry, because you guys can see the trend line came into play again. First entry short pullback, second entry short, but this lower high didn't really close below EMA, and it is at the level of EMA. The signal bar is not great, but I'm looking for a failed second entry long, so let's see if we can get it. All right, traders, we had a two-legged correction to the upside. Market likes to move in pairs of twos. I just deleted my trend line. So we had a two-legged correction to the upside. Uptrend played out with the break at a new extreme. Strong push below EMA, and right now price is attempting to create new extreme of this bearish downtrend. There was no failed second entry long below EMA. There was no setup below EMA to capitalize on this trend line. There is a lower high below EMA, but it's far away from EMA. So I cannot take lower high this far away from EMA. It is dangerous. It's been pretty all over the place. This is one of those structures where you have to be patient. All right, traders, we just had a second entry short, but it got too congested, too stemmy, so I didn't take the entry. Now we had a double trap. But the same reason the signal bar is horrible. Look at this doji-like looking bar. It has a big bullish stem at the bottom. This is indicating that a lot of people at the close started buying, and this is shown by this big bullish stem. So even though we have a second entry long on a larger scale visual two-legged pullback, we have a double trap at the EMA, because look how many longs got trapped going long above this bar right here under bearish structure while we need a new extreme of this downtrend. However, I cannot break the rule of the signal bar, so I'm just here waiting. It's getting too congested, and once price is getting stacked like this, anything can happen. So I'm still sitting here patiently. All right, so price is slowly but surely crawling all the way down. We consolidated for 20 bars. There was no entry. You guys can see this is a pure sideways action. We had a little failed breakout, and most breakouts out of these consolidation areas will fail. So no surprise, price break to the upside, breakout, pull back into trading range. It's pulling back with the overall direction, which is down. But this is so messy. You guys can see EMA is flat. We're moving down, but not really. I see structure like this. I just cannot force entry unless I get a clean high probability setup that's going to come to me. I don't want to chase any entry right now. I want a clean high probability setup that will come to me. All right, traders, I'm resuming the video as we just had a lower high entry, which I was contemplating taking, but I ended up hesitating. You guys can see price created, eventually moved to a new extreme, but bias is still very strong bearish downtrend. We had a two-legged pullback, but I resetted the count here because this is all congestion. So we have a lot of matching lows. So I treat it as a first entry short, second entry short. Either way, you can look at it as a first leg, second leg, no problem with that. Lower high confirming the two-legged pullback, or this is just a second entry short, depends how you reset the count here. I hesitated here a little bit. This lower high is kind of confirmation of the bearish momentum, and you guys can see I was being overly too cautious. I was being cautious here, correctly following the rules once the market was going sideways and not offering any setup. But once market broke lower, I was supposed to execute on this. Right, traders, I'm about to take a failed second entry, long entry, and I'm putting my limit because oof, so you guys can see I missed the entry. I tried the engulfing. We didn't really reach the scalp, did we? I can still enter this. We may get a good limit order here. Let me see if we can get a decent limit order. I still want to take this failed second entry long. Yeah, we missed it. The thing is, I was about to take the engulfing, but it quickly shot lower, and I decided to just get a little bit more leeway with tick for the bag. Overall bias is still bearish. Even though we had to break multiple X to a new extreme, I cannot ignore the overall bias. We came down all the way down to here. Low of the day is the target, and yet it has to be tested. Uptrend has a break, pullback, new extreme. So this is what I do in these situations. Even though I have a break and new low, notice how many pushes you're creating to a new low. Notice how price is barely pushing above EMA. Uptrend is playing out. Strong bearish move down the entire day. 5-minute chart still pushing lower. A 10,000 tick chart looking great as well. Shout out to Bye Bye Money for introducing me to it. But yeah, this was a great failed second entry long. So I'm just sitting here missing 2 high probability setups. Hopefully I can make it up and still get some decent setups. Alright, traders, I'm preparing my limiter as I'm going to take a lower high entry. 39, 35. But I'm going to... The signal bar is bad. Ended up doji, you guys can see, ended up in the middle of these bars in the exponential moving average. EMA is in the middle of these bars. A lot of bars stacked. Even though the context is really good for this lower high, I have to wait here. Alright, I'm resuming the video as I am indulging my mental mistakes, because look what a beautiful runner I missed. You can make a case that EMA is really in the middle of these bars, but when the context is this strong and it reversed really quickly back down, I kind of like this trade. And I just want to quickly talk about the mental aspect of trading. But this is perfect example. I could have been 2-0 or probably 3-0, even though I probably would have been done after 2-0. Yet I'm sitting here at 0-0 because I hesitated here. I was a little bit too greedy here, and I hesitated here again. And that is something you're going to have to combat on your career. So this is completely normal. Trading is a job like anything else, and sometimes when you wake up, sometimes you feel in the zone, you can read the market perfectly, you feel it, and sometimes something is a little bit off, you're not feeling that in shape, or you may be a little bit slow to react or something. Whatever happens, you know, you're just a human, and this is a perfect example of me just sitting here. But the day is still young, we can still get a lot of setups. It looked like a strong bearish downtrend here. I'm looking for more setups. Can't really find a decent big pattern that I would like. Nothing that really fits perfectly that would give me a lot of bounces. Just erratic sell-off market pushing lower. But when I'm looking at the structure like this, I cannot argue with the market. Even though we had a break and new low, I cannot identify the channel. I'm still thinking bearish. I cannot just go long this quickly, okay? From the very top, notice we traded down the entire day so far, so I cannot go long just yet. Even though I don't have the big channel, I'm just playing the EMA and I'm just keeping the entire buy in back of my mind. So price is pushing lower right now. I'm still looking for shorts, and we'll see if we can get a decent entry. All right, so the market keeps crashing lower and lower. This is the structure that I'm playing. Bias is clearly bearish, so right now I'm looking for any opportunity to sell. However, I'm still hesitant to just take first entries. You guys can see what a massive runner this would have been had you entered right here, and the runner didn't really have any heat. You can easily trail it one tick above the each swing, and you can survive all the way down here. So you really have to take advantage of the runners, because if you can get unexpected move like that, it can really pay off in the future. I was hoping to get a second entry or high pullback, but on such a strong structure, you guys can see only first entry short worked. All right, traders, I just entered a second entry short, micro second entry short in a strong downtrend, because the downtrend is just super strong, and I want to take a chance on this second entry short, even though it is far away from key entry point. You guys can see new low, first entry short, second entry short. Price just keeps pushing lower consistently. It's failing to even get close to EMA. A lot of first entries are working, so I have to take a chance on a day like this on any single pullback. And this is a second entry short. I know it's not textbook according to price action rules. It is not close to key entry point, but on a day like this, you guys can see any pullback is working, and this is a two-legged pullback, nice bearish bar. So I'm taking a chance here, and you guys can see I may pay for it eventually. You guys can see this is not looking too good here. I may have gotten too aggressive here. Getting very close to stopped out. Actually, I'm going to get out of this at break-even +1 if I get the chance here. And I got out. Alright guys, so you guys can see the scalp would have eventually worked. But it is really hard to... You guys can see this is my one trade. This is the only trade that I took. I didn't really manage to take any other trade today. It is a second entry short. And once the structure is so strong, you pretty much have to take any pullback. Not really in my game. I'm entering an engulfing price. Ticked higher, instantly reversed down. We're below exponential moving average. Now we are below EMA. Trendline is holding price. Strong bearish structure is still continuing. And we managed to get out of this trade. Perfect. Waiting the entire day for this one setup. Because the structure is a strong bearish downtrend. You guys can see, we can clearly identify it. Uptrend working higher, had a break and a new extreme. First leg, pullback. Second leg, two-legged pullback. Price created a new high. First entry long, push below EMA confirming the bearish momentum. Second entry long, failure. EMA keeps holding price. The trend line is probably a little bit steeper. I believe it started from the lower high. Once the downtrend is this strong, we only wait for these corrections to play out. These uptrends are reversal attempts, and most of the times in trends, they will fail. So any two-legged pullback below EMA is considered to be a trap. And this is a great bearish single bar. Alright traders, I'm about to enter lower high after second entry short off the trading range highs of the resistance. And it looks like I missed the entry. I really like this setup context wise. I'm gonna keep it here still if we get filled, because I really like the context here. Second entry short, bouncing off the range highs. This formed really quickly. Price push below EMA. Lower high, confirmation of the second entry short. Confirmation of the resistance. Structure is a still strong bearish downtrend. So I expect for price to continue pushing lower. You guys can see we're very close to coming to my order, but we have yet to be filled. If it pushes a little bit more lower, then I'm canceling this. Yeah, I'm canceling this. It already reached well beyond the scalp here. All right, traders, so I'm gonna call it a wrap. 2 trades for the day, nothing more. But you guys can see if you're patient, the market will reward you with high probability setups. Felt second entry long below EMA. Second entry short after uptrend played out with the new high, off the range highs, lower high, and then price created a failed second entry long. This is a great setup. Breakout pullback. EMA keeps holding price. I can move the support slightly higher, and you guys can see breakout pullback pattern. Breakout pullback pattern is great when you're trading with the direction of overall trend. You don't want to be taking breakout pullbacks on range days, but this is a strong downtrend. This area produced a couple of high probability setups. So I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.